how are you, buddy? How you doing?
Good, Jace. How are you, mate?
Finally, we've been able to do this, mate.
We're here.
We've had a bit of a week, haven't we, mate? In the old pop culture universe, haven't we?
We've had a bit of a rough one this week, but we got through it. It's good.
No, one of the big things is for the third time, Rick, we were banned. The channel was banned from Facebook. Again. And for the third time, Rick, we don't know why.
We still don't know why. We have put in our application to reassign our page, but they still haven't got back to us and let us know why and what's happened. So
look, you know what? They're just so shocking at their communication, Facebook. I've got to be honest with you. I mean, we need to know. You know, one of the things that Rick sent to me throughout the week was a pretty graphic video, and I won't go into what it was, but he showed me that as an example what was still on Facebook, and you can still view. But us talking about movies apparently is too offensive. It's pretty ridiculous in my mind, you know. And then on top of the madness with Facebook, actually, before we get away from Facebook, we probably should mention what we're trying to do now to give ourselves alternate platforms so people can view the show. Rick, you IGTV? We're going to be kicking into that?
Yeah, working a little bit more on IGTV. I've just figured out how we can actually play our full shows.
Great.
So we'll be pumping a lot more on IGTV as well.
Oh, that's good. And we'll be looking at other platforms to show the show. But it wasn't just that, Rick. We had massive technical issues this week.
Poor you, Jace. I felt sorry for you, buddy.
Initially, 48 hours, almost 48 hours ago, we were supposed to, 2 days ago, and we spent the last 2 days trying to find what the problem is. So, and it ended up me needing a new microphone and some other kind of software. Importing Zoom into OBS. That was a massive problem. Either way, we made it. So here we go. So let's get on with the show, Rick. Let's start off with, movie news this week, but I've got to warn everyone out there, this is a bit of a dark story. So let's get cracking. Unfortunately, this week, Ron Jeremy has been accused of raping 3 women and sexually assaulting another one. In a horrible turn of events. Ron Jeremy, who's been the butt of jokes for years and obviously a very famous porn star, has been accused of forcibly raping a 25-year-old woman in her home in West Hollywood, and also allegedly sexually assaulted 2 women ages 33 and 46 on separate occasions at West Hollywood. Now, Rick, that's a horrible story, mate. That's absolutely shocking to think that I mean, am I surprised? A little bit, but when you think about it more, it doesn't surprise me because his whole life's been about sex, you know? I mean, his whole existence, has been about people wanting to have sex with him or him having, and being able to. What did you think, Rick, when you heard this story?
I was quite blown away. I was like, really? Like, we're hearing it's mainly the executives in that industry, but all of a sudden it's Ron. I mean, was this recently, or was this something that's come out?
This has just come out in the last week, mate.
Yeah, crazy. Absolutely crazy news.
Extremely disappointing for everyone involved. He's come out and he's pleaded not guilty, and he even put out a tweet saying that he looks forward to going into court and defending his innocence. But what a world we live in, If you think about the world 10 years ago, and you think about all these people over the last 10 years, like Harvey Weinstein, Kevin Spacey, and the list goes on and on and on and on of all these predators, Bill Cosby, all these predators that have come up and shone through because they've been putting the magnifying glass back on Hollywood. It's crazy stuff, mate. So
disgusting.
I didn't really. It's not how I like to normally start the show, mate, because it's a bit of a downer story. But it was the biggest story I saw this week for sure. So with that, mate, we're going to move over to comic book stories. Okay, Rick, what have you got for us, buddy?
A big one here from DC.
Yep. Oh, yeah, here we go. This is huge, buddy. This
Batman.
is massive.
Michael Keaton. This is huge news. Michael Keaton, the man from 1989, Batman, is in talks to come back as Batman, wearing the suit in the new Flash movie. This is massive. Look, this is going to evolve with a lot more other movies. They're assuming, they're saying that, this is going to open up a big a branch of things at the moment. The storyline, there's a few little rumors of how the storyline's going to go. It might be into a different universe, and it's going to open up a different timeline, which is great. But this is massive. Fans are going mental at the moment. So,
Rick, it's great because what DC have is a real great opportunity to reset their universe with the Flashpoint storyline or Crisis on Infinite Earths. They're two massive DC comic book storylines which can allow, and Flash being the center point of Flashpoint, it's great. And why not bring Keaton back, dude? This is massive. And apparently he's going to be like a Nick Fury character. He's going to be signing on not for just for one, but several movies. I'd also heard that he will wear the bat suit in the Flash movie.
Yep.
So in my bet, I reckon eventually we're going to see him in the Batman Beyond movie, playing an old man Bruce Wayne who trains the next generation. This is massive. This is awesome.
This is huge. I can't wait. And there's a lot of people out there that can't wait for this as well. Let's just hope DC can nail it and get it right, because this is just going to open everything up for us.
I agree 100%, mate. I think it's really going to change the game for DC. Absolutely.
And just moving quickly on, also to DC news. DC news as well. We got a bit of news about Superman. Henry Cavill. Fans are very ecstatic that he is still returning as Man of Steel. He'll be playing Superman in upcoming.
And the same thing. He's been signed on for several movies.
Good. Yeah, but they're going to be playing it more so like the Hulk. More so, just going to be putting in, like, Superman characters, just going to be putting in different movies. He's not going to have his own standalone movie after Man of Steel #2. Yeah,
that's a little bit disappointing. I'm not super excited about that, to be honest with you. I think he deserves a Man of Steel too. But more Henry Cavill, can't complain too much because he's awesome playing that character.
Yeah.
Fantastic, mate.
That's good.
Was that it, mate?
No worries. So,
I think we're going to move on to now gaming news, right? Before we start gaming news, my son, a massive gamer, and you'll see him bits and pieces on the show as you go along. He has just played one of the biggest games out, you know what? Let's just get into gaming news. We'll talk about it a little bit more. There we go. Right, yes. He's just finished playing Last of Us 2. Massive fan of the game. The first game's got one of the great games of the decade, at least, The Last of Us. So the sequel came out this week. Massive news. Let's have a look. Now strap yourself in, guys, and let's hear what Josh had to say about Last of Us Part 2.
So The Last of Us 2 has been out for about a week now, and I've just finished it, and I've got to say I am profoundly disappointed in this game. I had very, very high expectations for this because I absolutely loved the first game with every inch of my soul, and this game does not live up to it in any sense of the word. The plot has now been riddled down to a revenge plot, which you do understand the motivations, but due to the fact that the characters have no charisma and are so boring, it is extremely hard to really care about it at all. And on top of that, the game has extreme pacing issues. You spend most of the game walking. There's a lot of the time throughout the game where there's absolutely no development of the story, and you're just going around and you're exploring. And I do understand that, but the fact that it takes so long to get from one story element to the next, it really hurts the pacing of the game. And on top of this, the character who you're meant to hate, who's the villain, who's Abby, who, spoilers, kills Joel at the start of the game, they switch the game halfway through by making you play as her. And I do understand what they tried to do. They tried to give you that they tried to show you that there's two point of views to the story, and that Abby's motivations were totally justified because in the first game, Joel kills her dad. So that's perfectly understandable. But the fact that her character is so abrasive and so hard to like in the game, it is impossible to care. Plus, she's already committed an irredeemable act at the start by killing Joel, who absolutely everyone loves. Because in the first game, he was developed from a veteran smuggler who didn't care to a loving father figure. And the fact that she committed this act literally makes it impossible for you to care about her at all. And half of the game is played as her, and you are bored and angry throughout the whole thing, because because her side quest in it does not have any way on the main story. It is literally just to make you empathize with her, and it is executed so poorly. So poorly. And there is a social justice warrior agenda being pushed on the game, and if the game was good in any sense of the word, there are some good parts about it, but right now I'm going to focus on the bad parts. The social justice aspects of this game do hurt it rather than help it. A lot of people are going to be annoyed with the fact that Ellie is a lesbian. I don't care about that at all, because they confirm her to be a lesbian in the first one. However, the relationship that she has with Dina in this game is so boring and unbelievable because the two of them have no chemistry whatsoever. Ellie in this game has no personality and does not care about anyone. So whenever there's a scene of those two together, it is so awkward and unbelievable that I do not care about their relationship at all. There is a trans character in this game, and I understand what they tried to do by not really making her trans, but the way that they go about it doesn't impact the story whatsoever. It doesn't really even help their character development. It just makes it seem like they shoehorned it in there to ponder to a certain demographic, a really small demographic of people that play the game. I don't hate the character at all. I don't care that they're trans. I just feel like this was shoehorned in there just to ponder to people. And it's really jarring for some people to deal with, because they're not really developed that much as a character. Like, that character, the reason why they're on the run from this cult, because they're now identifying as a man and they shave their head. But the fact that they're running away doesn't really have any way on the story, because later on that person called Lev then goes back and tries to confront his mother about the fact that he identifies as a man. And this doesn't really have any resolution, because he goes back to confront his mother, but instead of having any resolution, his mum dies because of self-defense. And that doesn't really feel like there was any resolution for that character. So it really damages it. And the main problem with the game is the fact that they make you play as Abby, and you don't care about her at all. She's developed poorly, you don't care about her motivations, she's just a really terrible character. She's angry, she's abrasive, you hate her for the whole game. But the one biggest problem I have with this game is that the plot had no point whatsoever, because at the end of the game, where Ellie finally gets to Abby and is about to get her revenge, she doesn't kill her. For absolutely no reason, other than the fact that this game is trying to send a message that revenge and violence is bad. Even though throughout this entire game, Ellie has been gutting people and torturing people just to get her to this one person. She kills dozens of people, she kills the friends of Abby throughout this entire game, but doesn't kill the one person who she set out to kill. And I was so disappointed after finishing it, because I was literally sitting there thinking, what was the entire point of this game? And there is none. I want to talk about that I enjoyed the combat, but the fact that that is such a small part of the game that I enjoy, and that there's this long list of things that I hate about it, I'm not even going to bring it up. At the end of the day, The Last of Us was a really poorly executed sequel to one of the greatest games ever made. And I'm really disappointed with the decisions that they made. And at the end of the day, I want to give this game a rating, and I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10. And I like the combat, but that is the really the only thing that I like in this game. The fact that this story and characters are crafted so poorly makes me hate this game. And it is now probably going to sit on the shelf and just gain dust until I trade it in to get another game. And that is what I think about The Last of Us 2.
Whoa, Rick. There we go. That was Josh's almost 7-minute rant on why he hated The Last of Us. Part 2. Ouch. I was going to play it too, but after that review, no way. All right, mate, you ready? Let's get kicking into some streaming news. All right, Ricky, what do we got, mate? Let me know. Show me what you got. Let's have a look. Here we go. Ooh,
I know you're a big... I know you're a big fan of this show. When this first came out and you told me about this show that you'd watched it, I was like, this is a joke. I'm not even going to bother watching it. I think this is just crap. Why they even did this. And I'm talking about, obviously, Cobra Kai. So I know they read it on YouTube. It was on YouTube. It was streaming on there, the first 2 seasons. I've got to say, I've probably watched a couple of episodes. I haven't really got into it. But there's some news saying that last month they've announced that it will be streaming on Netflix. Netflix have taken it up, so season 3 of Cobra Kai will be on Netflix as well.
Mate, who's right? It can't be that bad, mate. If Netflix picked it up,
mate. Yeah, look, yeah.
Gotta watch it, dude.
I'm not going to say anything until I watch it, mate. So you recommend it. I trust you. So when it comes on Netflix, I'm going to binge watch all 3 seasons.
And everyone out there should as well. It's a good show.
I'll let you guys know. But yeah, Cobra Kai coming this year for Netflix.
Brilliant, mate. Brilliant. All right. Well, if that's it, mate, I think feel like watching a couple of weird videos.
I do. Let's do
it. All right, we've got a couple here, mate. I'm going to kick into the first one. And the first one, I think, is mine. And it's a weird video. It's not a funny video, but it's just strange. And it's around everybody's good friend, Rick Astley. Like, I'm not going to explain it. Just we'll watch about 30 seconds of it, and we'll come back and tell me what you think, because I was impressed.
Hello, I've waited here for you ever long. Tonight, I throw myself into out of her head she sang. Calm down and waste away with me, down with me.
Oh, well, there you go, Rick. Rick Astley, man, playing Foo Fighters Everlong.
How does that work?
He was fantastic. I thought it was fantastic. He did the acoustic version. Check it out on YouTube. It's got millions of views already. I was blown away because he's the never going to give you up meme at this point in life. You know what I mean? Right. But I was super impressed. Actually,
I was pretty impressed for that. Yeah.
I'm surprised. I'm not saying I'm buying his next album or anything. I just thought that was kind of cool, you know. All right. Well, you know what? You sent a video to me that's probably... We tried playing this a few weeks ago when we had... Guess what? Technical issues. But let's get cracking into it now, Rick. This is the video you sent me.
This is what you guys wanted. Here we go.
Oh my god.
What?
Sorry, I'm not even kidding. Can I please get a large Coke? A large fries.
Oh my god. Oh my god, everywhere.
No!
Why would you do that?
Thank you.
Oh my God. Oh.
Okay, let's go. Okay, let's go. Okay, let's go. Careful.
That's wild, dude. That was pretty funny. Yeah, who'd do that, dude? Like, why would you put a shot collar on your neck? Like, insane stuff, mate.
Big for views these days.
Yeah, that's it. Well, we've had a look at a couple of videos. We've talked about movies. We've talked about comic books. We've talked comic book movies. Talked about games. I think it's time to probably plug the channel, I reckon, Rick. Here you are, Rick. Plug away, mate. Tell them what they need to do.
Guys, obviously we spoke about our Facebook page, but also head over to our YouTube channel. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and also follow us on IGTV and Instagram. And also in each of those, I've got a bio, which you can just click on the link and you can buy this great mug and T-shirts and get on some merch as well. So much appreciated.
Good work, mate. Good work. Fantastic. Well, that's another week wrapped up. A lot of effort went into this week's show, guys, unintentionally. But we'll be back next week. I'd love to hear some feedback of what you guys think of what we're trying to do here. Yeah, absolutely. It is, and what about the new format? We changed things up a bit. So hopefully you guys have liked it. We'll definitely be back next week. But until then, let's blow this shit up and get out of here, Rick.
Yeah.
Oh. Hey!